Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very wonderful and interesting, you know, um, presentation. Looking at the screen, we want to educate you. We want to educate some of our fans who have been, wondering or making researches on how to become a U.S. citizen. Worry no more, for this is the video and this is the moment you have been waiting for. So I will advise you to have your pen and paper in your hand as you follow us through this video. We're gonna teach you step to step what to do and what not to do towards your dream of becoming an American citizen. Right here, there are so many ways that you can become a US citizen, but the easiest way to become a US citizen is by, number one, marry a US citizen. I know a lot of people might be wondering, okay, so where are we going to see the person? Where is the person going to come from? I mean, how do we find the person? Relax. This is the video for you. Just follow this video from beginning to the end. You will understand. As far as you are paying attention, you will understand all the details, and it will be very, very, easier for you to find someone and for you to become a US citizen. So, first of all, you have to marry a US citizen because the American Constitution allows a US citizen to file for their spouse or their direct relative, that is, their parent, mother, and father. So, after you marry a US citizen, what is the next step to take? The next step is for you to file a form called Form I-130. Is a petition for alien relative. What does that mean? This is a form that you will have to file with the USCIS, you know, for you to petition to bring your spouse or your mother or your father. But right now we're talking about the easiest way to become a US citizen. So we will be talking about spouse. So when you marry a citizen, because we're talking about you marrying a citizen as the easiest way to become a US citizen. So when you marry a US citizen, you file a form known as Form I-130, petition for alien relative. It doesn't end there. There are requirements. There are documents that you will have to file alongside the Form I-130. So one of the documents is your marriage certificate. You have to present to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service that you are legally married. So you have to present your marriage certificate. Secondly, you have to present a copy of all divorce decree. That is, if you were previously married, or death certificates. If you were previously married but your spouse died, you have to present or show a death certificate, or your annulment degree that dissolves your previous, marriage. That document is as well required. Now you have to present a passport style photos of you and your spouse. Then another one is for that US citizen that is filing to bring their spouse over to US territory, we have to present a proof of their citizenship, which could either be a valid US passport or a birth certificate or naturalization certificate. Now, you have to note that there are two ways that you can bring your spouse to the US. Now, you can decide to bring your spouse to the US while you file this form and wait for this form to come out. But that route has not been the best. So we will be teaching you the best route. The best route would be you leaving your spouse in their country while you, that is a US citizen, stay in US territory and file this from I-130 for them to come over. So I will advise you again that you have to wait for at least 2 years after your marriage before you file. Yes, you heard me right. You should wait. I understand that, when you fall in love with someone, you guys will be chatting, talking. Phone conversation is different from you closing the distance with your spouse. Yes, you might be in a hurry that you don't want to wait until your spouse comes. You say, okay, you want to bring your spouse right away. But I want to tell you that the best thing to do is to wait. After 2 years of your marriage, then you file. What is my reason? The reason is this. If you wait after 2 years to file for your spouse to come, when your spouse gets into the US, he or she will be issued a green card, a permanent resident. But if you file less than 2 years after you get married, he will still be issued a green card. But then, that is where we come to this important information that I have here. Now, your spouse will be given a 2 years conditional residence status. What does that mean? A 2 years conditional green card will be issued to that your spouse. Why? Because you guys filed less than 2 years of the marriage. So that green card that will be issued to your spouse will have a condition. What do you have to do? Now, your spouse will be allowed to come to the US, stay in the US, enjoy all the benefits that a green card holder enjoys. But there is a status on that green card which says that the green card is only valid for 2 years. What are you supposed to do? 90 days prior to the expiration of that 2 years conditional green card that your spouse is holding, you have to file a form called Form I-751, Petition to Remove Condition on Residence Status. Note, this is very, very important. Failure to file within 90 days of the expiration of this conditional residence that your spouse is holding will result in automatic removal of your spouse from the US. So you have to be sure that you check the expiration date on that conditional green card so you can be able to file for from I-751 removal of condition on that very residence status. So let's say everything goes well. What do you need? First of all, what do you need to file for this form? So you need basically the same thing that you used when your spouse was filing for you to come to the US. So you still need to present your marriage certificate. You have to present a passport photograph. Your spouse that filed for you to come to the US will have to still provide a valid US passport or birth certificate or naturalization. That is a proof to show that they are US citizens. They have to present all those documents again. And you have to present your foreign passport that granted you access. The page where your visa was stamped, you have to also show it. So these are the documents that you will have to submit, and other evidences of relationship like conversations, pictures, that shows that there is a relationship that exists between you and your spouse. So the US Citizenship and Immigration Service will schedule you people for an interview. This is very, very important. You must attend that invitation. You must attend that invitation. Failure to attend this invitation will result to automatic denial. And what that means is that your green card will be withdrawn from you and you may be placed on removal from the United States. So, it is important that you and your spouse attend that interview at the venue and the time that it is scheduled. You have to prepare yourself. We're going to make a video of the expected questions and answers that you will be expecting at that invitation. But right now, we are talking about the steps, the easiest way to become a U.S. citizen. Now, after your green card, your I-751 petition to remove condition on resident status is granted and approved, and your permanent resident that has no status attached to it is granted to you. There is another hurdle. There is another mountain to climb. What is that mountain? Now, the U.S. immigration law has it that you are qualified to file for naturalization, that is citizenship, on two options. One, that you have lived in the United States for at least 5 years since you came in. Or, that 5 years is, let's say you've lived with your partner, but something happened, you guys went your separate ways, like you divorced. You cannot file for your citizenship until after 5 years. Now, there is this sweet part about it, that if you are still in marriage, that is, if you are still in marriage, you are still living with your partner, you can file after 3 years. So, after 3 years does not mean the 3 years that the conditional resident status was removed. No. The date starts from the first date that you entered into United States. So that first date that you entered into the United States counts as the first date. So 3 years that you have entered here into the United States and you are still living with your spouse, you are qualified to file for your naturalization. So, what form do you need to file for your naturalization? You need to file Form N-400 for your naturalization. I will need you to visit the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service website to find out the duration of this form. It varies. I cannot tell you that it stays 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or 1 year. It varies based on the center, based on the location, based on the volume of work or cases that the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service is handling at the moment. But you have to, keep checking the status to know what is going on with it and what is required of you. So, in case you have any question that you would like to ask us as regard to this video, as regard to any step that we have mentioned here, feel free to drop your comment, to drop your question in the comment section, and we promise you that we will respond to you as soon as possible. It is a promise. We will make sure that we respond to you as soon as possible. So any question that you may have, please put it in the comment section. And please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button at the bottom there and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will be able to get notifications whenever we drop new videos, and you will be able to get updated as regards to information that will be important to you. And I wish you good luck as you embark on the journey of becoming a U.S. citizen, the greatest country in the world. Thank you so much for watching.